is Jay Hillingworth here. Today I'm in the studio with Mastermind and my friend Frederick Freeze. And whenever I'm listening to a podcast of enormous personalities, I'm listening to RG television. Did I say it right, Mastermind? Is it RG or RG? RG television. That's what I'll call it, yes.
Now, leading up to the next topic and the catch up broadcasting of the RGtv, someone said if only Nintendo can team up with Sony and Microsoft. Then we speak about that the last segment. And remember I told you one of my biggest dreams was to have all these guys sit at the table and focus on the gamers. Yeah. That would be amazing. Yeah. But I find out as more I age is dealing with, hey, you can't have Monopoly. That'll turn into a big old monopoly.
Well, actually, monopolies already exist anyway.
True.
And and people don't realize this. Sorry, Mac people, but Steve Jobs had been fired from Macintosh prior to the rise of all of the stuff that we know now. And in that interim, Bill Gates was being pressured by the U.S. government to break up Microsoft at some point. He started buying stock in Apple and brought back his rival, Steve Jobs.
Oh, yeah.
At that point, Steve became the Steve Jobs that we know now in his death. And, basically this man he created his own rival so he wouldn't have to break up his company. Yep. That's called villainies, ladies and gentlemen. Yep. That's called villainy, ladies and gentlemen.
Brought to you by Bill Gates.
Yeah, exactly. That's why he is the villain of the century when it comes to IT. But, the monopolies are already there. The thing is, how are they going to split the profits up? That's why these companies won't get together. Because it's like, for some, you'd have to give them an incentive where they're going to all make money. And they're going to make money, but is it going to be worth their while? Because they got that right now. They got their segments all carved out. Yeah. I got my segments. Sony has their segments. Nintendo got their segments, and PlayStation, Xbox, they have their segment. So, what would move them to kind of get together? And that's the situation that you got to ask yourself. I think that, again, if Nintendo wasn't being so jerky and they would release more of their catalog, or they would just openly embrace the fact that there is a segment of the population that likes the more simple games that are just whatever, and they say, well, we're going to be the masters of that market. True. That's going to be our market. We're going to shoot at the kids for real. We're going to shoot at the early adapters. I mean, the folks that's coming out that just play some games, blow off some steam. They don't want to get into some backstory or crap. They just want to pretty much pick up their controller and see their guy walk across the screen in a side scroller or a platformer. We're going to rule that market. Now, don't get me wrong. Yeah, the internet is taking over, and we got people making their own games at the house. You could have a Steam portion. We say this a million times. Yep. But see, Nintendo is just real weird like that. They go, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. They made some disparaging marks about doing all that. So who knows with Nintendo what. They are happy being that hardware company. True. And I told them with the Switch, where's the rest of them games at, man? Yeah. Where they at?
Nintendo has to come out with the games, man.
So
they have to, man.
Yeah. And so, but yeah, that's pretty much the size of it. I just don't see it because I don't know would it be financially feasible.
But what I'm thinking of how it could work out is if they come out with one box, and if you want to buy a Nintendo game to work on this box, Nintendo sell their own accessories. You want to buy a PlayStation game, buy the PlayStation game, and it works with the same box. Buy PlayStation accessories. If it's a Microsoft game, it works with the same box. Buy Microsoft accessories. That way, each company can still make their money off accessories.
Yeah, and that we could do something like a slot, especially for backwards compatibility. Yeah, you could do like a slot based system. That's and you maybe have it set up so like your box can be tricked out with all three slots playing at the same time. That'd be pretty dope. And then you have your backwards whatever, and you actually could do a large Steam thing like online where you can just pull from the portals, whether it be a monthly subscription, and that way you ain't even got to have the games. They're just all sitting out there. You see what I mean? And you're and they're just on a cloud somewhere, and you pull them in.
Yep. And someone speaking about we spoke on last time. They was talking about if Mario moved to these consoles. Now, remember how they with the mobile phones?
Yeah,
that's being real big now.
Yeah,
seeing Mario on an iPhone or on an Android, that's pretty big. So what's stopping Nintendo from moving Mario to someone like Sony or Microsoft? I didn't think it'll be able to happen on a mobile phone, but what if they was to move them to a Sony or to a Microsoft? I doubt that'll happen.
Yeah, that's why I said
it'll be. That's one of their go-to characters.
That's why that's their Mickey Mouse.
Yeah.
Like I said, he is Mickey Mouse to them.
But speaking of, remember how we just said how Bill Gates and the whole Steve Jobs situation? What if 2019 to where Nintendo has to, hey, they got to start selling off some characters, kind of like what Marvel did. Marvel had to kind of start selling off some of those characters.
Yeah.
So what if Nintendo is faced to the point to where, hey, we got to start selling off some characters or we're going to crash?
Well, I think at the end of the day, somebody would absorb them. I can see something like that happening. If one of the companies start hurting, Microsoft would be the ones I think that would be in position to purchase somebody.
Yeah.
And I think Sony could.
Because Microsoft is bigger.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Microsoft would absorb whoever they needed to absorb.
Yeah.
And then that everything will be put into place from there.
Yeah.
And I think that's more so what I can see would happen. But I can actually see, because of who Mario is, I can see Disney actually buying them.
That'd be a good look, but
yeah,
the thing is, Disney will have the characters and the movie scripts and the cartoon and all that, but they won't. They're not necessarily. They're in the gaming market, but who's going to pick up Disney to be on their consoles?
Disney don't just go. The bad thing is Disney just buys people and tells them to just do what they do. That's their thing. They're like, go make some more stuff, and you may actually get them to make more games because of that.
Yeah.
You know, that may not be great games, but they'll get you to make some more games because Disney's not. They like I said, they haven't done the greatest job with Marvel, the comic books.
True.
They've done a poor job with those for various reasons.
True.
And none of which what the ridiculous fanboys think, because I actually collect and I know better. It's just bad writing in general.
Yeah.
But you know, that's Disney's downfall in that.
Yeah.
You know, it's like this. You know, they will own some property though.
Yeah.
So
that'd be a good look for them though. But man, that's one of the big talks. Now, one of the next talks we're gonna jump into coming up soon. So you want to stay tuned to RGtv. We're gonna be talking about a big decision about Apple and Google, Sony, Amazon, all of the big companies, and who's going to team up together to get into the gaming market, because the gaming industry is only getting bigger. It's not getting no smaller, and a lot of these tech places is also jumping into the gaming market because gaming is also tied to tech. So who's going to be the next leader in the gaming world by 2020? We're going to talk about that later on, but you got to stay tuned here at RGtv. We out.
All right.
Ernest J. Henningworth here. The other day I ran into a astute young man, and he told me some lingo that I've never had before. I was talking to a young lady friend of mine, and she told me how good things were. Now, I don't talk about bedroom etiquette or whatever, but I told him that things went into overtime, and overtime simply means that I had a very rousing situation with him. He simply told me to stop lying on my penis. And then I asked, what do you mean? Then he told me, stop lying on my dick. Now, that is mine. You cannot tell me what I did with that because it is mine. You cannot touch that. It's mine. So, please, if you are out there lying on your penis, don't do it, because 9 times out of 10, you're probably going to come up short in the game of life.
Let's get this contest started.